Chewbacca! Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to day 24 here on the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, day 24 is here, and once again we are taking it all the way back to 1959 with this little Swedish gem. Reading into this film and doing a little research on it, it says that this is the only science fiction monster-made monster film ever to be produced and to come out of Sweden up until today. I thought that was a very interesting note because apparently they don't make monster movies in Sweden. So that's really interesting because, you know, it's like 56 years old and this is the only one to date. That's very, very interesting. But of course, from 1959, we are talking about Something Weird Video's double Swedish feature release of Terror in the Midnight Sun. Yeah, very, very cool. Of course, the top one there. But yeah, I was very intrigued by that this was like the only science fiction monster movie ever to come out of Sweden. I just thought that was just mind-blowing because it's just hard to believe. But yeah, getting into the plot of this one, it basically is about a meteor that crashes into the side of a, obviously, snowy mountain. So a group of geologists go out there to investigate, some American mixed with Swedish geologists and stuff. They go out there to investigate this this meteor that's crashed out there. Upon doing a little bit of research and stuff and looking into it, they start to feel that maybe it wasn't just a meteor that landed there or crashed into the side of the mountain due to the tracks that, you know, led into, you know, where its resting place for the time being was and stuff. And so they start doing a little bit of research and they go up there. And yeah, it's not exactly what it was originally thought to be as a meteor. It actually is an alien spacecraft which inhabits a monster that you know, starts to do some carnage. And well, there's your film right there. So my thoughts on this one. Now, like I said before, very intrigued that this was the only science fiction type monster film ever to come from Sweden. And it's kind of a shame that they didn't do more because I really kind of enjoyed this film. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a very short film, so it gets into the story super fast and it just kind of progresses. This one right here, it does have slower moments, so I have to say, in the middle of the film, it does slow down a little bit. You know, it's a typical type 50s filmmaking, you know, where they spend a lot of time with things, or maybe just too much time in certain areas of the film, like, you know, them skiing down the mountains, and it sounds, and the soundtrack to those scenes are like very comical and stuff, but they just seem to go on a little too long and stuff. It just feels like it's filler. But you know, this one right here, like a lot of 50s films, has like a very quick third act. You know, it's usually over within 10-15 minutes. Very typical in this one too, same type of thing. But overall, I really enjoyed this one. I like the feel of it. I like the look. I like the setting of it too. I mean, the snowy setting of this film was fantastic. It really did capture that, you know, that cold feeling to it. I love that. I really, really enjoyed that. You can tell that they were cold making this film too, so, which is really cool. You know, the music, like I said, is very 50s. It's kind of comical at times. At times it doesn't fit. At other times it does work. So it's kind of off-putting, you know, and things like that. But it has a really good type tone to the film. I really do enjoy it. And the acting was surprisingly really good in this one. One of the geologists' characters in the film, he has a daughter who's like a world-class skier and stuff. Of course, she sneaks her way onto this trip, and you know, she becomes kind of a focal point for the monster, which she ends up getting abducted in the film. I thought that she did a really good job in the film. I thought she was, you know, very beautiful, and she did a very good job, you know, just overall and stuff. But you know, of course, the film isn't with its over-the-top type acting and things like that. But you know, it's from the 50s, so what do you expect? But you know, it's a very short film with a little bit of filler. At times you kind of start to lose your interest a little bit because you really just want to get to the monster, which leads me into the monster. Now the monster kind of looks like a Chewbacca type character. He's really, really big. Like, the monster isn't like a normal, like a, you know, like just like an oversized human. He's like as big as buildings, you know, type of thing. It's like a Godzilla type size creature that came from this this spaceship, which is kind of unrealistic because when you compare the two, the spaceship, whatever, or the meteor is pretty small, and he's ginormous. So it's kind of funny. So when the carnage ensues, it had me laugh, and there was a couple scenes in this just floored me. I was pissing myself. But it was a really fun film. You know, it's very short, it's cheesy, It's not a well-made film. Some of the editing in the film is kind of bad. Other times it wasn't too bad. I thought it was shot quite well though, which is interesting. Yeah, the monster alone is worth the watch in the film. It just looks so funny. Yeah, not really a whole lot more I want to say about the film without giving anything away, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun with this. 70 minutes, quick watch. How can you go wrong? If I had to rate this one, I'll give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. By no means is it mind-blowing. It's not a bad film though either. And again, very amazed that this is the only sci-fi monster film ever made, because why wouldn't they make more? I mean, it's been so long since this has been made. You think someone would have attempted, another film like this, because why not use that setting in Sweden, that snowy backdrop, and it's just fantastic. But good stuff. I do recommend this one. Recommend this double feature. I was very amazed when I opened this, because I've had this in the collection for a few months, whatever. And I opened this one up today, popped it in. It's actually a DVD-R. Very, very strange. It just kind of threw me by surprise. I always just have this habit of flipping over the disc and looking at it just to make sure there's no scratches or hairs on it or whatever. And yeah, it was a DVD-R on a brand new, legit store-bought DVD, and I was like, that's really crazy. I didn't know that Something Weird Video was putting out things like that. But I wish I had time to do Invasion of the Animal People. I wanted to do this as a double feature review. I just am so busy in my life, I couldn't get that one in, so... But yeah, I do recommend it. 6.5 out of 10. Pretty fun film. Of course it is black and white, if you're wondering. I didn't say that, but it is 1959. But with that said, a film I did a couple days ago, Living Coffin, was shot in 1958, and it was in color. So I thought I'd mention this one is in black and white, and it's not subtitled. Being a Swedish film, the acting is all in English. It's all in English, which is very strange. So I thought it was interesting, but it is fitting because there was some American actors and of course Swedish actors too. So, but yeah. Cool film, check it out, and that's going to do it for day 24 here on 31 Days of Horror. Catch you guys tomorrow, day 25. Like I said, I have no idea where the film is going to take me, into what decade. Might be the 80s, might be the 40s, I don't know. See you guys then. Peace out.